Let's get these people coming in. Make some adjustments. Get this green screen set up. I'll stick with this one there. What's up, everybody? We got a banger right now, man. We got a good one. I'm gonna say it like this. The prosecutor is resting their case in the Karmelo Anthony murder trial. I'm gonna wait a couple of I'm gonna wait a minute before I really dive in. Yeah, y'all bring it in. Got a good one today. Hit the like for me. Hit the like button for me. All right, I'm gonna jump right into it, man. Top 5 reasons why Karmelo Anthony go win his appeal. Now he gonna lose trial because he already guilty in the public eyes, and the jury is not his peers. So we could all agree that he not going to win the trial, but the appeal go be in the higher court. People that don't have those personal vendettas, and it's going to be a fair trial, and he's going to be exonerated eventually. But I do honestly believe they're going to railroad him in this first trial. Now, you could look at what's being reported. You don't hear the mainstream media talking about the fact that Karmelo Anthony knew somebody under the tent. They don't talk about the fact that the deceased, God rest his soul, Austin Metcalf, he was told by the coach not to come. He was told by the coach not to come to the event because of past disciplinary reasons. They're not gonna talk about on mainstream media that the twins were known bullies in the neighborhood. They're not gonna talk about the fact that he was invited to the picnic by a mutual friend, and that mutual friend actually got corrupted and lied in court and say that they wasn't close friends. But then under a cross-examination, they pulled up all type of social media pictures that's showing that this witness was lying in court, that he do know this guy real good, and they went at family events together and everything. So is that the public's best interest for the young man Karmelo Anthony to be found guilty on the first trial? Yeah, but the appeal, he gonna win the appeal. He gonna win that appeal with no problem, and that's what I really believe. But I'm gonna talk about the facts in the case as I fire up my beautiful joint right here. If you're a kid, you gotta go, man. Kids gotta go. Gotta find my lighter first. But as I'm looking for my lighter, I'm gonna talk about the facts in the case. Fact is, The twins were known bullies. Both twins are 6'3", 230 pounds. Austin Metcalf as well as Hunter Metcalf, both 6'3". Well, rest in peace, Austin. He was 6'3" and 230 pounds. And Karmelo Anthony, he was a little kid. Karmelo Anthony was a little kid, 5'9", 130 pounds. That's a 100-pound difference times two. As well as the other little marks who was trying to surround him too. They was trying to jump the young man. They knew that. Everybody knew that. The young man didn't have to die, but he didn't have to be at that track meet. He wasn't invited. See, the people that create the loudest uproar be the ones who be the most guilty. The people that supporting the narrative that why did he bring a knife to this event? The reason he brought a knife to that event just in case some tent police try to stop him from being under the tent in the rain. But nah, that's a joke. But we gonna talk about the facts on the living, which is Karmelo Anthony, and the deceased, Austin Metcalf. This guy, Austin, was told not to come to the event, to the track meet. The coach told him not to come. He a football player at a track meet, at a junior varsity event at the most. That's a bully. So when they saw Karmelo under the tent, they wanted to come with the rah-rah and be bullies like they normally be bullies. See, you got to use the analogy that one day jump out, go come. If you sell dope, you ought to know one day jump out, go come. And if you're not thinking with that logic, I'm looking for my lighter, man. Can't find my lighter. I can't find my damn joint. But if you come with that logic, you got to understand this logic. Being a bully all the time, one day is not going to happen the way you planned on it to happen. The bullying didn't happen as planned. They thought they was going to bully the young man and make him run away in the rain. They wouldn't even do that to a dog. Those people who hate Karmelo Anthony right now, they would welcome a stray dog into their tent before anything. It might be in my pocket, man. I don't know, it ain't in my pocket. But like I was saying, they'll let a stray dog under the tent before they let Karmelo Anthony under the tent. And back to being a bully. Nah, it ain't in my pocket. It gotta be, man, I'm gonna pause the live just so I can fire because I feel like I'm cooking right now, but forget all that. Let me tell you, you got a crowd of bullies surrounding an innocent kid. He was innocent because he wasn't bothering nobody. He had a knife because in Texas, everybody carries some type of weapon. I'm not from Texas, but that's what I hear about Texas, as well as the rest of the world. So if you got one-ditch effort to get everybody away from you, you go do it. And just so happened he had a knife. I don't condone violence. And I found my lighter. It was right in front of my face. All I had to do was look. But throw hands, man, you want him to throw hands against what? At least two people that's 6'3", 230 pounds, while Karmelo is 5'9", 130 pounds. And then besides the twins, you know they had little minions around who instigating, and Karmelo was sitting down. But you not him. You can't measure the repercussion when you the aggressor, when you initiated the verbal, when you initiated the physical. Regardless if Karmelo said, touch me and see what happened, or whatever he said allegedly. They wasn't supposed to touch him. Go to square one. Go to rule number one. I don't know if your parents taught you this, but you're supposed to keep your hands to yourself unless you want trouble that come with it. If you don't keep your hands to yourself, none of this won't happen. Two factors. Number one. No, it's three factors that I'm going to key in on right now. This is number one. If he kept his hands to himself, that's the third. That's the third one. That's number three. Number two, an adult that was there could have de-escalated that situation easily. An adult that was there could have de-escalated that situation easily. That's point number two. Point number one, why didn't they just share the tent? They could have shared the tent. And if they didn't like the fact that the ops was under their tent getting some shelter, they could have turned up in a school spirit way. They could have turned up under that tent in a school spirit way to make Karmelo be like, yeah, he in the danger zone, but it's all competitive. It didn't have to get violent. The deceased started the violence. You can't call a tent a locker room, a sanctuary. The only reason you go call a tent a locker room or a sanctuary is to justify why you want to steadfast on this young man not getting no shelter in the rain. And you want to ignore the fact that the coach told the twins not to be there. Or he told one of the twins not to be there. And more facts, it was a JV track meet. Karmelo was there volunteering to help the JV team because he is a varsity track member. The twins was at the track meet just being there. They were just there looking for people to bully because it's a JV track meet. They came there to bully, but you want to point the finger, and you, what I mean, you, the people who believe that that young black man should go to prison for the rest of his life. That's the you who I'm talking about. You know who you are. But you want to steadfast on the logic of why he had a knife. Why these people who support Carmelo Anthony going to prison for the rest of their day, why they have a gun on in Walmart? Because they can. Show me the law against Carmelo Anthony not having that knife on him. You don't want to talk about that. Show me the law that you could say that is or not is questionable that an assault happened. You want to say Carmelo provoked the deceased when the deceased was the aggressor. The aggressor ended up getting killed because of the numbers game. If you bully all the time, one good time is not gonna happen the way you thought it was. The catastrophic tragedy that's dividing this country shouldn't have happened. The 3 reasons it should have not happened. 3, he should have kept his hands to himself. He didn't have to touch the young man, the young teenager. 2, there were adults there also. They could have de-escalated that quick. Or if not, the twins could have ran and told the adult. 1, not sticking the middle finger at you or nothing like that. But 1, they should have just shared the tent. Sharing the tent wasn't gonna hurt you. But it hurts you when you hate the person who under the tent. When you hate the person that's under the tent, you go come up with every reason and make it seem logical and normal on why what happened. But if you reverse those races and say that a group of black kids was surrounding a white kid, that white kid could have pulled out a gun and shot everybody, and they would have screamed self-defense. They'll scream the time we living in. They'll scream these whatevers don't know how to behave. But they not saying none of that about those aggressive thug white kids who surrounded the young man and threatened him and made him feel uncomfortable about his safety when he had to react after he was attacked. There's no 2 ways about it, but y'all want to sit here and think that y'all could out system the system when they made up laws to protect people, all people. I know at first it wasn't designed for us, but right now y'all don't know watch. It's for us too. It's for everybody. But you want to move the goalpost and say shoving match and all this type of stuff. No, it wasn't no shoving match. It was one kid getting bullied by several kids. And the kid who we knew at the tent, honestly, he a coward. Cause he could have stood up and said, y'all let it go. He with me, it's raining. And he could have said that in court too, but they probably threatened him or whatever. Whatever happened for him to say what he say in court. And I'm talking about the guy who Karmelo Anthony knew under the tent. He knew this guy. This guy knew him. But he want to say they weren't friends. He just knew him a little bit. But then they have all type of pictures. A lot of pictures together in social media at different events because of he's a family member of Karmelo Anthony's girlfriend. I know what it is. See, what it is what it is the people, the nationality of the witness want to align with the white supremacists because that's what they naturally do. So, of course, he go try to make it seem like he downplaying, or like he don't really rock with Karmelo like that. When it's raining and push come to shove, I know you know me, I'm under the tent over here. What? Y'all gonna kick me out in the rain like I don't deserve to be under a tent in the rain? But I guarantee you people, the you people I'm talking about is you people who think Karmelo Anthony should go to prison for the rest of his life. You people will grab a towel off your back and put it around a wet dog before you allow a young brother shelter when it's raining. And y'all want to say that y'all good, fine, Christian, upstanding citizens. No. Y'all teach y'all kids to lie, steal, cheat, and don't be accountable. Don't admit to nothing. Keep your mouth shut. And that's what they teach their kids. When they tell us to teach our kids, the truth will set you free. Turn the other cheek. Ask and you shall receive. But they teach their kids A closed a closed mouth don't get fed. I rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. That's what they teach their kids. They teach our kids to ask and you shall receive. And they teach their kids, I rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. That's why they fake and say they sorry. And they don't be meaning it. They say they sorry so fast because they know what they did was wrong. They just pretending like they was doing something wrong. Man, we ain't talking about no other rapper. We ain't talking about nobody. We talking about two students that got into an altercation. One of the students initiated the contact. One of the students had a twin brother who was the exact same size and height as him, which was 6'3", 230 pounds. And they was bullying a 5'9", 130-pound student. And the fact still remain, if they didn't step to that young brother, it would be twins here still bullying. You got, hey, bullies, all the bullies out there, y'all choose y'all marks carefully, because everybody ain't gonna be a mark. Somebody go bomb first on you. Bullying is not cool. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. Karmelo Anthony, he gonna lose his trial, man. They gonna railroad the young brother. But he gonna come back on the appeal. But the appeal gonna take probably like 5 to 7 years. It's gonna be like that. But he gonna get his freedom. He gonna get his freedom back, but they gonna send him to the joint. Because he killed the white person. And they don't like that. They gonna have to teach him a lesson. And they still not gonna want to share the tents. They gonna make a tent law. That's what they gonna do. They gonna make a tent law saying that it's illegal for students from other teams to be under the tent instead of saying share the tent. For everybody who support Karmelo Anthony, put share the tent in the chat right now, even though it's only a couple of people, 3 people in here right now. Put share the tent. If you disagree, put separate tents. Because that's what it was all about. It was about the type of person that was under a tent. So they used the tent as the excuse to initiate negative contact. That's all they do, is try to wait for a reason to set us up, to try to play us up from up out of our life, play us from up out of our position, play us from our freedom, play us from our family, and all type of good shit that go with it. Because they just can't stand to see us just still here. They done did everything to try to get rid of us. So now they use billion-dollar donors, billion-dollar funded think tanks to come up with talking points and rhetorics and agendas and signals and trigger words and false talking points, BS, statistics. And then they had a nerve to say that they honest. And then they had a nerve to say that they factual. Then had a nerve to say the same stuff like, look at this city like Chicago and this, that, and the other. And all of them say the same stuff. They don't answer your question. When they get pushed in the corner, they talk about Biden. They talk about something else that don't have something to do with the subject that they getting chumped out on. It's a pattern. A guy like me, who from the hood, been to prison, some college education. I got some college credits under my belt. But the point I'm trying to make is they running the same play over and over. And it's getting old, it's getting tired, it's predictable. You always see what the outcome is. They go try to hold it off as long as they can, and they go be with the BS for as long as they can. And they'll put anybody else in another position besides us, because they just still think we gonna be coming around the corners with our guns and pay them back and do to them like they did to us. They still in fear of that. When we just trying to just do us and be left alone and get our own money and raise our kids and do what we supposed to do in this country. Point I'm trying to make is a young brother, he gonna lose trial. They go railroad him. The jury is not fair, it's not of his peers. And the people who they put in place are all the people who have been oppressed by YT supremacists. So now they had an opportunity to gain acceptance, to be left alone as long as they going against us. It's so predictable, it's so obvious, it's old. It's the same playbook from Racist 101. Say that the black guy is the aggressor. He didn't belong. They still trying to tell us that we don't belong somewhere. It's 2026, and they still trying to justify that we should be where we are in their eyes at the moment they see us. So when they see us, they want to know if we legit supposed to be where we supposed to be at. Hey man, y'all tap that like button, man. The couple people in here, y'all hit the like button. Let's try to get some motion going on and share the live, cause I know I'm hitting on all cylinders right now. We can see this, and the playbook was in reverse with the Mr. Child situation. You see how they changed the playbook and then bring it back and use it how they want to. As long as it's working for them against us, they go flip the playbook and run it in reverse for their favor, and then turn around and run the playbook again. That's just like when you buying gold. When you buying gold, gold is up. When you selling gold, gold is down. They try to run that playbook on you like you don't know, like you don't know how to do your research, see what's going on, what's the what is. I'm trying to make right now, when the trial happens and they find a young brother guilty, which they will, they just wanted to get him, they wanted to break his will and get him messed up mentally because he was on the path of righteousness. He was on the path of doing what he's supposed to do. He was a track student that was volunteering his time for a JV track meet. The senior track meet was the day before. They don't want to talk about those facts. They also don't want to talk about the fact that the Metcalf twins, they were bullies, and the deceased twin, Austin, he was asked by the coach not to come, not to attend. Hey, don't come, man, because you know you be bringing too much heat. You hot, man. Don't come. Oh, but no, I'm Big Bully Twin. I'm white privilege in the flesh. I'm coming anyway. Hey, you black kid, you can't be over here under our white tent. Get from over here. I'm gonna beat you and whoop you. Blah, 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 whoopty whoop. The man told him, don't touch me. Y'all gotta teach y'all kids to keep y'all hands to yourself. You get to teach your kids to share, at least when it's raining, even in competition. Y'all really holding on to the narrative that this guy didn't belong. Y'all always try to say we don't belong somewhere, when in reality, the deceased didn't belong there because he was asked not to come. And the adults that were there knew it. But it gotta be, his parents gotta be some type of, probably a ranking member of that, of those situations that they changed the name, but they all got the same mind frame. It's all the same. They passed that rhetoric down to their kids, and the kids who under them, who wear the same hats as them, the YT kids. They all know, so they in the pecking order. That's why the the Austin twins was bullying all the other kids in the neighborhood. But then you know that brother right there. That brother stood up for himself. And he gonna go down in history as a young brother who stood up for himself when everybody else was against him. And he was righteous. The man stood in the paint and he gonna live with his consequences. He gonna get exonerated eventually. But unfortunately, it's not gonna happen in this first trial. They gonna find a young man guilty just because they want to teach the black man a lesson at every chance they get, at all costs, any chance they get, whenever they get the chance. That's what they gonna do. So we gonna end this live like this, man. I appreciate everybody coming in and sliding through, and that's what it is.